You're listening to Speak English with Chat.
On Chat English. Welcome back to Chat English, where we help you speak the natural English you need for real life.
Today, we are building a social survival simulator to help you escape the most uncomfortable trap in the English language.
Picture this. It is Friday, 4 p.m. Your coworker walks up and says, "Hey, can you help me finish this report by tonight?" Your stomach drops. You want to say no, but just saying, "No, I can't," feels way too rude and aggressive.
Oh, I hate that panicked feeling. I used to just smile, say sure, and completely ruin my own weekend because I did not know how to refuse politely in English.
In this episode, you are going to master the soft no framework so you can protect your free time at work and with friends while still sounding like a great team player.
I really wish I had this framework years ago. When I first started working in an English-speaking office, my strategy for saying no was just to apologize 100 times. I would say, "I am so sorry, I cannot do this, I am very sorry." It felt terrible, and it honestly made me look a bit unprofessional.
That is such a normal reaction. When we feel anxious about disappointing someone, our instinct is to over-apologize. But constantly saying, "I'm sorry," or "I can't," actually damages your professional image. It makes it sound like you lack the ability to do the work, rather than just lacking the time.
Wow, I never really thought of it that way. I guess saying "I can't" does sound like a lack of skill when you hear it out loud.
Exactly. That is why we need to change the focus from your ability to your capacity. You are fully capable of doing the work, but your schedule is simply full. To express this naturally, native speakers rely on a very specific set of visual phrases.
Visual phrases, like painting a picture for the other person?
Precisely. If you just say, "I'm busy," it does not create any empathy. Everyone is busy. Busy is a boring word. But if you use a visual phrase, the other person instantly understands your stress and backs off. The first one we're going to look at is being swamped.
Swamped, like a swamp in the forest, a hot, muddy place filled with water.
That is the exact image. Imagine trying to walk through deep, heavy mud. Every step is slow and difficult. You're stuck. You cannot move fast. That's exactly how your brain feels when you have too many projects at work.
I love that metaphor. So instead of saying "I am very busy," I would say "I am swamped."
Exactly. You can say, "I would love to help, but I'm completely swamped this week." It sounds incredibly natural, and it makes the other person feel a little bit of sympathy for you. They picture you buried in mud or buried in paperwork, and they naturally want to leave you alone.
That makes total sense. I remember when I first heard a colleague say he was swamped, I immediately stopped asking him for things. It really works as a polite boundary.
It is a perfect boundary. Another fantastic visual phrase is having no bandwidth.
Oh, bandwidth. Now, the first time I heard this in an office, I was so confused. I thought my manager was talking about the internet speed or the Wi-Fi router.
That happens to so many learners. Bandwidth started as a technology term to describe how much data a network can handle at one time. But over the last decade, it's become the most common way for native speakers to talk about human mental energy.
So if my brain is a computer, I'm just saying my system is running at maximum capacity. I do not have the processing power to take on another task today.
You nailed it. If you say, "I don't really have the bandwidth for that right now," you're not saying you dislike the project, you're just stating a neutral fact about your energy levels. It removes all the emotion and guilt from the rejection.
Exactly. We wouldn't throw cash into a trash can, but we're fine wasting hours of our weekend on extra work just because we don't know how to protect our energy. Using the word bandwidth is like putting a lock on your time wealth.
I love that phrase, time wealth. It really is about protecting what's valuable. Now that we have these two great vocabulary words, swamped and bandwidth, I want to put you inside our social survival simulator. We're going to do a pause and reply practice.
I'm ready. How does the simulator work?
I'm going to play the role of your boss. I'm going to ask you to take on an extra project. After I finish speaking, I will give you, the listener at home, 3 seconds of silence. During those 3 seconds, I want you to speak your answer out loud. Don't just think it in your head, actually move your mouth and speak the words into the room. Try to use the word bandwidth in your polite refusal.
This is great practice. If you're listening while walking or driving, just talk right back to us.
Here we go. Step into the simulator. Hey, I know it's late on a Friday, but we just got a huge request from the client. Can you take the lead on this new presentation over the weekend? Now, pause and reply. Time is up. Let's hear the best native reply. I would love to help the team out, but I really don't have the bandwidth to take on anything new this weekend.
That sounded so smooth. You started with something positive, I would love to help the team out, and then you dropped the boundary using bandwidth. It was completely professional.
Thank you. And notice that I did not say the word no even once. The word no is incredibly harsh. In professional settings, we almost always find ways to say no without actually pronouncing the two-letter word.
That brings up a really interesting point. Even if I use great vocabulary like swamped or bandwidth, sometimes the grammar I use still makes me sound a bit aggressive. If I say, I am swamped, I cannot do this report, it still feels a little bit like I am slamming a door in someone's face.
You are absolutely right. And this is where the magic of English grammar comes in. Textbooks teach us to use the present tense for facts. I am busy. I cannot do it. But native speakers use conditional modals to soften the blow of a rejection.
Modals, you mean words like would, could, and might.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I can't, which sounds like a solid brick wall, a native speaker will say, I wouldn't be able to.
Wow, I've never really thought of it that way. I guess using wouldn't makes it sound hypothetical. It creates this imaginary situation.
Yes, it creates a parallel universe. It communicates the idea that in a perfect world where I had unlimited time, I would definitely help you. But in this reality, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to. It is such a polite structure. Let's compare the two. Listen to the direct version. I can't finish this by Friday.
That sounds like a strict command. Now listen to the softened version. I wouldn't be able to finish this by Friday.
Do you hear how the second version leaves room for the relationship to survive? It is soft, it is reasonable, and it makes the other person feel respected.
Exactly. I remember when I started swapping I can't for I wouldn't be able to, my stress levels at work dropped dramatically. I stopped feeling guilty for protecting my time. It is such a small grammar tweak, but it completely changes the energy of the conversation.
Let's look at another modal softener. Instead of saying, I won't have time, which sounds like you are refusing to make time, you can say, I might not have the time.
I love that one. The word might introduces a tiny bit of doubt. Even if you know for an absolute fact that you have zero time, saying I might not have the time just sounds friendlier. It softens the rejection.
Let's put this grammar engine to the test in our simulator. We're going to do another pause and reply. Listeners, your coworker is going to ask you to review a document. I want you to refuse politely. Do not use the word can't. Instead, use the modal phrase, I wouldn't be able to.
Get ready to speak out loud. Here comes the coworker. Hey, do you think you could review my 30-page budget proposal before the meeting starts in an hour?
Pause and reply. Time is up. Let's hear the natural response. I would love to look at it, but I wouldn't be able to give it the attention it deserves right now.
That is brilliant. I wouldn't be able to give it the attention it deserves. You are actually framing the refusal as a favor to them. You are saying that their work is so important it deserves more time than you currently have.
It is the ultimate diplomatic move. It flatters the other person while completely protecting your own schedule. If you're finding these natural phrases and frameworks helpful, make sure you hit subscribe right now so you never miss our weekly conversation guides. We want to help you build your communication skills naturally, week after week.
Absolutely. Hitting subscribe is the best way to keep your momentum going. Now, Alice, all of this is fantastic for the office, but what happens when we leave the workplace? Saying no to a boss is hard, but sometimes saying no to a good friend is even harder.
It really is. The rules of the social soft no are totally different from the workplace soft no. If a friend invites you to a party and you reply, I don't have the bandwidth for this, you're going to sound like a robot.
Exactly. You cannot use corporate jargon on your friends. I made that mistake once. A friend asked me to help him move furniture on a Sunday, and I told him I was experiencing a capacity issue. He laughed at me for 10 minutes.
That's hilarious and a perfect example of why context matters. With friends, we need phrases that are casual, warm, and show that we value the relationship even though we're rejecting the invitation. The most common phrase we use in social situations is, my plate is full.
My plate is full, like at a dinner buffet.
Yes, imagine you're at a wonderful buffet. You have loaded your plate with chicken, salad, bread, and pasta. Food is falling off the edges. Then someone comes up and tries to put a massive slice of chocolate cake on your plate. You want the cake, but your plate is literally full. If you take it, everything will end up on the floor.
That is a great image. So my plate is full means I have too many things happening in my life right now to accept another invitation.
Exactly. You can say, I really want to come to your dinner party, but I've got so much on my plate right now. I just need to sleep. Friends respect this because it is honest. It shows vulnerability.
Another great social phrase is to take a pass.
Oh, I use that one all the time, to take a pass on something.
What makes it so effective is how casual it sounds. It feels like a sports metaphor. You are just letting the ball go by you this one time. You're not saying no forever, you're just passing on this specific event.
Right. You might say, I think I'm going to take a pass on the movie tonight. I'm completely exhausted. Let's put these social phrases into a best reply quiz.
I love the best reply quiz. Listeners, we are going to give you a very common social scenario. Then we'll play 3 different audio replies, A, B, and C. You have to listen carefully and choose the most natural, polite English response.
Here's your scenario. It is Saturday morning, you had a terrible week at work, and you are looking forward to doing absolutely nothing. Suddenly, your phone buzzes. It's a good friend. They say, hey, a group of us are hiking in the mountains today and then getting dinner. You should definitely come.
You are tired. You do not want to go. Which of these 3 replies is the best way to handle the situation?
Here's option A. I must decline your invitation. I am experiencing significant fatigue today.
Option B, no, I will not go. I do not like hiking when I'm tired.
Option C, oh, that sounds so fun, but I think I'll have to pass on this one. I've had a crazy week and I just need to recharge.
Make your choice. A, B, or C.
The correct answer is option C. Let's break down why the others fail. Dan, what is wrong with option A?
Option A sounds like a vampire from the 1800s writing a formal letter. I must decline your invitation. It is completely unnatural for a text message to a friend. It creates a massive emotional distance between you and the other person.
Exactly. It sounds incredibly cold. What about option B?
Option B is the opposite problem. It's way too blunt. No, I will not go. It sounds like you're angry at them for even asking. It lacks all social grace.
Which leaves us with option C. Oh, that sounds so fun, but I think I'll have to pass on this one. Notice the structure here. First, validate the invitation. That sounds so fun. This proves to your friend that you think their idea is good. Then use the soft refusal. I'll have to pass on this one. Adding the phrase, this one, implies that you will definitely say yes to the next one.
Exactly. When we are fully focused on maintaining the friendship, we want to make sure the door stays open for future plans. Saying pass on this one is the perfect way to protect your weekend while keeping your friends happy.
Now that we have the vocabulary and the grammar for both our workplace and our social lives, we need to talk about the physical delivery. This is our pronunciation mini lab.
This is so important. You can use the perfect words, but if your tone of voice is wrong, you will still sound rude.
Tone is everything when saying no. We have to use what I call the bad news bumper.
The bad news bumper? What is that?
It's a physical sound you make before you deliver the refusal. It's usually a soft sigh or a sharp intake of breath, followed by a stretched out vowel. It sounds like this. Oh, I'd love to, but...
I know exactly what you mean. It's like you're physically showing the other person that it pains you to say no.
Exactly. If I answer the phone and immediately say, I would love to help, but I'm swamped, spoken very fast and flat, it sounds like I'm reading a script. But if I take a breath, stretch the word love, and drop my pitch, it sounds sincere. Listen to the difference. Oh, I'd love to help, but I'm totally swamped today.
The melody completely changes the meaning. Your voice goes up on the word love, showing enthusiasm, and then drops low on the word swamped, showing exhaustion.
That's the exact formula. Pitch up for the positive, pitch down for the negative boundary. Let's practice it together. Listeners, I want you to exaggerate the sigh and the stretch on the word love. Repeat after me. Oh, I'd love to.
Oh, I'd love to.
Perfect. The second part of the pronunciation lab is connected speech. When native speakers talk naturally, we don't say every word separately. We blend words together to make them flow.
Right, we don't talk like robots.
Take the phrase bandwidth for. If you say it slowly, you pronounce the D in bandwidth and the O in for, bandwidth for. But in a real conversation, the D almost disappears, and the word for turns into a tiny little sound like fur. It becomes bandwidth for.
Bandwidth for. That is so much easier to say. It just rolls right off the tongue. I do not have the bandwidth for that right now.
Let's try another one. Pass on. We do not say pass, stop, on. We push the S sound directly into the O. It sounds like one long word. Pass on. I'll take a pass on this one.
I'll take a pass on this one. I remember when I started practicing connected speech like this, my confidence skyrocketed. I stopped worrying about sounding foreign and started focusing entirely on the flow of the conversation.
Exactly. When you blend your words smoothly, the listener focuses on your message, not your pronunciation. It makes your refusal sound incredibly casual and natural, which removes the tension from the room.
This entire framework is such a game changer. We spend so much of our lives trying to please other people. We take on extra work because we want to look ambitious. We go to parties we don't want to attend because we are afraid of missing out.
But as we often say, time is your most valuable asset. You have a limited amount of energy each week. If you say yes to everyone else, you are silently saying no to your own rest, your own hobbies, and your own peace of mind.
Exactly. Saying no to others is how you say yes to yourself. I noticed a massive shift in my own life when I started using these phrases. I thought my coworkers would be angry with me. Instead, they actually respected me more. They saw that I had clear boundaries and that I managed my time professionally.
People respect boundaries when they are communicated clearly and kindly, and that is exactly what the soft no framework allows you to do. You are not being lazy, you are being intentional with your time wealth.
It is so empowering. You are taking control of the steering wheel instead of just letting everyone else drive your schedule.
That brings us to your challenge for today. I want you to practice your soft no in the comments right now. Imagine I just asked you to work this Saturday. I want you to reply to me in the comments using the modal grammar and one of our new vocabulary words.
Type out your boundary. Write something like, I'd love to help, but I wouldn't be able to because I'm completely swamped. Or use the word bandwidth. Just getting the words out of your brain and onto the screen will help lock the grammar in your memory.
Now that you know how to protect your time when someone asks you for a favor, your next challenge is setting boundaries when you are actually trying to work. Click the video on your screen right now to learn the 5 polite phrases you need to interrupt a coworker who will not stop talking.
That is a crucial skill for surviving the office. Thanks for practicing with us today. Protect your time, stay confident, and keep speaking your truth.
We will see you in the next conversation.